Barring any changes in the schedule, members of the National Assembly will be passing their verdict on the special seats bill meant to ensure greater inclusivity and involvement in Nigerian women in governance. Now, the Policy and Legal Advocacy Center, which has been leading advocacy groups on the bill, said at the weekend that the special seats bill will be voted on by both the chambers of the National Assembly this week. Speaking at an event to amplify support for the Women Representation Initiative, Executive Director of PLAC, Clement Nwankwo, said, and I quote, "The clock is almost counting down in the sense that if we go by the schedule decided by the leadership of the National Assembly, voting on the bill will either happen on the 8th or 9th of December, which is really next week." Nwankwo said the passage of the bill will no doubt prove a test case of the 10th National Assembly to listen to the popular demand of Nigerians. Well, the General Secretary of the Alliance for Credible Elections, Ma Odi, joins us now to discuss the upcoming consideration of additional seats for women by the National Assembly and why the bill should be passed into law. It's great to have you on the program. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Hawa. I'm happy to be here.
It's a lot of discussions about gender parity, but not a lot of action. We do see that this bill is proposing to create 182 additional legislative seats exclusively for women to be contested in general elections rather than reserving the existing seats. I want to ask you why this specific approach of creating additional seats is considered the most viable strategy for Nigeria and women seeking parity right now.
Okay, a special seat is a temporary measure, instrument, and mechanism to address the historical injustice against Nigerian women. You know that when the colonialists came, they actually make sure that women were not voting. And even when they allowed women to vote in 1951, they reduced it to women with properties. And you can remember, Hawa, that our women from the north started voting in 1979. It was a historical injustice against Nigerian women. The women Nigeria occupied in traditional Nigerian communities, they lost it during the colonial era. And over the years since the return to democracy in 1999, women have been making efforts on their own to be on the decision-making table and the structure of representation in Nigeria. But the more they go forward, the more they go backward. And we think that this temporary affirmative action for only 3 general electoral election cycles will make a way for women to be on the table of decision-making. And it makes an economic sense. It makes justice sense because no country can survive on injustice. It makes justice sink when Nigerians decide the address of injustice against different sectors, starting from half of the population, Nigerian women. The Nigerian will start running on a very good engines. And also, it makes economic sense because if you bring the women to the table, the concerns and interests of women are actually that of the family. And then the money waste on fighting insecurity will be reduced to the drastically minimal level because the women will now bring ideas that will end insecurity in Nigeria when they are on the decision-making table. And also, you know that women are the one who takes care of the sick and elderly and everybody. So education is not working, health center is not working. There is near zero infrastructure development in Nigeria. Women are the ones who bear the brunt of lack of basic infrastructure, the lack of quality education, and lack of healthcare service system. When the women are there, then they will make sure that our health system is working, education is working, because the women are the ones who suffer most when these things are not working. So we also it will bring us that we will have good governance, because we have examples of good governance when a woman was finance minister under Obasanjo, our economy was working. And when a woman came to head NAFDAC, where Dora Kiru, Prof, then all the fake drugs were destroyed, and Nigeria started in the drug business. He actually chased all the people all the fake businessmen and women who import fake drugs from all over the world. A woman stopped it in Nigeria. We have history of women activism from Margaret Ekpo. When we come to the cultural level, people will say our culture is against women who special seat for women. Because our women have been engaging in political process. Margaret Ekpo and a host of others, even in the Southwest, Funmilayo Ransome-Kuti, they went to fight for independence in London. Yes. They are there. Culturally, women has been there. Economically, the special seat will make our economy to be viable, and we will have a good health care system in Nigeria. Yes. And also, it will reduce insecurity, and a lot of money invested for it to fight insecurity will be reduced, because women are the wives and the mothers and sisters of those who do insecurity.
Right.
And they will tell them enough is enough. We are here, they are here.
Allow me to interrupt you. I mean, clearly there are very many benefits of having female representation in our politics and in our environment. I mean, even the Bible itself says, "Blessed art thou amongst women." But there are critics. Of course, there will always be critics that want to hamstring these efforts. Now, some of them argue that democracy is about competition, and that this bill could promote tokenism or could also dilute merit. How do you respond to these criticisms? Why do you believe these seats will attract the most qualified and the most competent women?
It's only women who know how to tell the truth about their fellow women. Well, when this seat is for only women to contest, and we always put our best foot forward, is when the men get involved, they will now appoint OES members. But this special seat is for only women to contest. At the best, we measures, if all the political parties, we actually bring our candidates, female candidates that will contest among themselves, and the best will win the election. You know, generally, women do not have money to throw around. So they will come with their ideas. The best idea will win that election. We need those. We cannot encourage tokenism. We always have affirmative action in Nigeria. Once time we had a policy for education disadvantaged states. It's an affirmative action to bring them on board. They have all the quota system, that rotational presidency, South and North. It's affirmative action. Because if you just ask everybody to contest, one region will be winning the election because of their number over and over again. And they came up, it started with PDP in 1998-99. They said they will be rotating the presidency between the South and the North. It's an affirmative action to make sure everybody is included. The whole world is going in the area of inclusion. Leave no one behind. And the women have been left behind for a long time. 109 seats in Senate, only 4 women. Yeah. Only 4 women.
Yeah.
And you come to the House of Representatives, 446, only 16 women. So their voices are drowned, and they don't even have voices to say, these are our concerns, interests, and this is where we want to go. And you know, Hawa, very importantly, as a woman, that when a woman brings her concerns and interests and issues to the table, it is the totality of the issues of the family and the community and society. So which means if you address the issues and concerns and interests of Nigerian women, you have automatically addressed the issues of the family, the community, and the society. And that's the beauty of this special seat. It's a temporary measure. It's not forever. It cannot introduce tokenism. It's a measure to redress the historical injustice against women and bring them to the table. After 3 general elections, the women would have sufficiently entered the table and fight to be there. So here we will not be, as it's not forever thing. We are saying if there is justice, there is development. And you cannot have development without justice. We have to give us justice. And all over the world, it's not only in here. They are always looking for ways to address injustice against different sectors, against different demographics, against different communities. And this is the community of Nigerian women. We have to address the historical injustice by bringing them to the table. Nigeria was built on a 2-engine to run, but it has been running a 40-engine, one engine that is not even effective. When you bring capable women, when Obasanjo brought Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, who took the glory? Obasanjo. But the woman mentioned things were done right. And for the first time, we started hearing the amount of money sent to the local government and states, and we started investigating, asking questions, beginning to ask questions. What did you do with these allocations? So when women come to the table, they make things easier.
Very
and
well
we start
said.
interrogation. Interrogation leads to good governance. And we will have good governance. And our youth will have employment. Because the women will say, the money you save from this and this, let us plug it here. Let us establish industries here and there. Then the youth will have employment.
Very well said.
And the insecurity will reduce.
Very well said.
When you give a youth education, you give a youth employment, nobody will be encouraged to go and carry guns against the state. Everybody will be okay in the society. The society will start functioning well. And we will leave this Nigeria better than we met it. All we are asking for justice. We are asking for women to bring to the structure of representation and the decision-making table so that we can...
Ma Odia, allow me to interrupt. Allow me to interrupt, please, for the sake of time. Before I let you go, this bill failed to pass in previous legislative attempts. What's different in the displayed political will of these lawmakers that gives you, or even gives any of us, any hope for the success of the passing of this bill? What are the political dynamics that are at play that make you think that this is the time that the bill will actually pass?
Okay, you remember that 2 weeks ago that the wife of the president, the first lady, Senator Remi, hosted the Senate. It was about this bill. And there were House of Assembly members, House of Representative members that plaque took to Kenya and other nations to observe why their women were there. And they came back, all of them that went to study Kenya Parliament and others, came back. Some of them told us that they were ashamed of themselves, how these women have come in to make things to work, how they all prayed to support this special seat. And so many, all the things they said we didn't do well in the last time. You remember last 2 months, all Nigerian women were in this Transcorp Hotel during the public hearing, begging our representatives to give us this special seat. We are not asking for more. And so many of them, they have not worked really for the interests of the community. We are asking, when you want to go to vote, any day they are voting, remember that a woman is your mother, is your wife, is your daughter. When you look at their beautiful faces, you remember that the person keeping the home at peace is a woman.
Very
well vote said. For this special seat. We will celebrate you. We will thank you. Thank you.
Comrade Ma Odi, General Secretary of the Alliance for Credible Elections, the member of the steering committee of the Nigerian Civil Society Situation Room. It was great to have you on the program. Thank you so much for joining me.